And welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. Sitting next to me, Deb Hartley, Jim Lee, Prudential Utah Real Estate. So glad to have you guys on the show as always.
Good morning, Joe.
Good to be with you.
Good morning.
Joe.
Yeah, welcome.
Right.
Well, now I secretly know all the good things that you guys do, but realtors in general do some really great things in the community.
We do.
We got to talk about that a little today, don't you think?
We should.
All right.
Right. It's amazing how many members of our board are involved in nonprofits and involved very actively too.
That's really great.
Our association, the Park City Board of Realtors, is a very philanthropic organization in and of itself. And we have some really favorite charities that we support annually.
You know, it makes good sense for realtors to, help out the towns in which they are serving, because frankly, if you don't have the good cities and the good life, standards of living there, right, it's a lot more difficult to sell a home there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
sure.
So that's awesome. Well, yeah, tell me a little more about this. I'm really excited to hear about some of the things they work with.
Annually, one of our biggest events we have is a luxury home tour that we hold in August, and annually that supports the Women's Peace House here in Park City. That's a very large event, and this year we raised and donated $88,000 to our local Women's Peace House right here in Park City.
That is terrific.
That's awesome, and we've been doing that for several years now.
That's really cool. We've had them on the show a couple of times, and the work that they do is so important.
It's critical. Unfortunately, those kinds of services are needed in every community.
Sure they are.
And they're certainly needed here in Park City as well.
Yeah, I think sometimes we kind of, we all love to do this and think that nothing happens
or the
where we live.
rose-colored glasses.
Sure. But, what really makes a community is having the people to serve each other and to help each other to not only open those up, but also to address the problems.
So Park City Board of Realtors takes a hugely active role in not only organizing it and sponsoring it and holding it and obviously, raising the money for it. We're very proud of that. We have another event that we do as well.
Right.
Is that right?
And well, we do a golf tournament, and that supports the Children's Justice Center, both in Wasatch County and in Park City and in Summit County here. And this year, that was a huge success, where we were able to contribute $14,000 to each county, to each one.
Oh, wow.
And that was huge.
Now, I'm not as familiar with them, but as I understand it, what their role is to be the advocate for the child.
Well, exactly. In an interview process, when the children have to come forth and tell their story and so forth, to give them an environment conducive and not threatening, to make them feel as comfortable as possible, basically, to tell their story.
It's really important.
Yeah.
I remember, what was that? I think the first movie when we really ever heard of a child talk about what it's like to be a child in a divorce, or it was that Kramer versus Kramer. Do you remember that?
There you go.
That was a heart-wrenching.
It was.
Yes.
But it was so important to finally start to recognize that the children's voice matters.
Yeah.
And they're smart enough to make some choices, and certainly they know which parent they want to be with, and they know where they're safe, and these things. And so that's an important thing. So really great to have that in the community.
Yeah, also in supporting kids, we do a couple of scholarships. Actually, we typically do 2 scholarships for South Summit and 2 scholarships for Park City High School.
Oh, really?
And yeah,
that's
so
great.
we're active in that also. And I'm lucky enough to be on the interview process, or basically to review the packets that the kids put forth for their scholarships.
And what kind of scholarship is it? As far as, what's the criteria?
The criteria basically is we come in late in the process, meaning other scholarships have been given out, and we give it to someone who hasn't received a scholarship yet. And we go primarily on the basis of need.
Oh, that's
financial
great.
need, I would say.
I remember at my school watching a lot of kids get like 2 or 3 scholarships. I'm like, gosh, I'd like to have one. I was really I knew I was gonna have to pay for college myself, and it was gonna be a struggle, and it was. I sure wish that I'd have been around and known you then.
So those are just some of the things as our association we do to give back to the community. Now, I would say just about every realtor has their favorite passion that they support as well. I'm a wish granter for Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
So, we all do something. We're also involved in our community.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I think that does too for your clients especially, So somebody's out there looking to find out, hey, how do I sell a home? How do I buy a home? The important part is if you've got realtors involved in the community in that level, then they, it's one more added layer of knowing where
you
need to be.
On it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
And when someone buys here, they're not buying just sticks and bricks, they're buying part of the community.
Right.
And if we are part of the community, then they kind of see and buy into that whole concept too.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's really great.
So we want to talk about...
Yeah, we got a little turkey going on here.
We want to
so
talk about our last... one of the last things that the Park City Board of Realtors does.
Turkeyed up here.
And as funny as these hats are...
I've stuffed turkeys before. I don't know that I've ever done it quite like that. And it's always a lot more difficult when I do it. It's all slippery. And
exactly. But as fun as these hats are, the platform behind this is we hold a Park City Turkey Drive, and it's sponsored by the Park City Board of Realtors. And every year, this will be our 11th year, we collect hundreds and hundreds of turkeys, thousands of pounds of turkeys and dried foods, because believe it or not, 1 in every 7 children go to bed hungry in Utah.
It's the largest growing group of
it's staggering.
Yeah.
And right here in Park City alone, we donate 400 turkeys just for Summit and Wasatch County.
Wow.
And they're distributed by Rob Harder at the Christian Center.
Oh,
so there's
great.
a huge need. So we'll be having our Park City Turkey Drive at the Market at Park City in November 15th and 16th over at the Market of Park City, and we'd love for the community to come and support us.
Absolutely. Yeah, bring some turkeys,
and
bring some food.
We have turkeys there. They're at a really great price, and but it's another way that Park City Realtor gives back to the community.
That is really great.
So, Deb was the co-founder of this whole concept
11 years ago. 11 years ago, yeah.
And started it out, and
so,
a few people knew about it, and it's grown and grown, and now the whole Board of Realtors is totally
behind
supportive.
it. Yeah.
Oh.
So if you figure that if a turkey feeds 6 people, just 6 people for dinner, and and multiply that times 1,700 turkeys we collect here. That's a lot of people.
Of families.
That's a lot of people we feed in one season.
Yeah, and you hit the thing that really matters. You've talked about it both from the perspective of being the advocate for the child, but also, for feeding them. They're the largest group of people who are reaching poverty. It's it's really crazy.
It is. It's
and
sad.
they are hungry, and that's we so often think overseas. We so seldom think about here.
Oh, and we have a need right in our own backyard, and it's large. And we're in partnership with the Utah Food Bank, and they're great in working with us. So.
And you started this when you were like 20, and now it's 10 years later.
Exactly, 20. Thank you, Joe.
Gosh, that's awesome.
That's exactly right.
Well, I hope people get out and help out with that. Give me the dates one more time.
November 15th and 16th at the Market at Park City.
And you can just drive by during the day.
That's exactly right.
Oh, wow.
So, outside
that's
there,
great. Do you guys have a website for this?
Yes, it's Park City Info. ParkCityTurkeyDrive.info.
ParkCityTurkeyDrive.info.
Exactly.
All right. I don't recommend, I know it's a turkey drive, but I don't recommend wearing that while you're driving. Somebody else might look at you and, they might not be paying attention.
We're glad.
Well, thanks so much for being on the show.
Joe.
Prudential Utah Real Estate.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Jim, sure appreciate you being here. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
All right. We'll be back after these messages with more of the Mountain Morning Show.
Why should it make a fool of me?